diversity leads to more innovation, seen as a talent because you have power, and then show it, bring it in, that every action counts.
Alexandra, welcome to MyCollective. Thank you so much for agreeing to be with us for our Impulse session tonight. So for all of you listening in, we have Alexandra Mebus with us, the CHRO of the Zeppelin Group, previously with Voigt and Bosch, and today with us in her position as a managing director, but also as a career woman, mother, and role model. And I'm very excited to have you here with us in our Impulse session. So what we do here is we talk about how we connect, how we empower, and how we inspire. And I would like to ask you a couple of questions, especially on the topics that we are discussing here quite a bit, which is diversity and the link to innovation. And I was wondering if you believe that there is a link between it, so that more diversity leads to more innovation. And if you could give us a couple of real life examples, either from your life or from your company, to show that if this is the case for you.
So I totally believe in that that diversity leads to more innovation. When I look into my career, of course, I was often the only woman in a boys group, I would say, since many years. And as I get the feedback, is really that we are getting more modern, more different ideas than in the past when it was a whole male group. And I can see it similarly in our company. So, for example, as we are in construction area business, so it's a male-dominated business, and we have some really great women in there. And our customers love them all. Our product management love them all because they look different on our products and also on to our services. And it's about the size, the fit of something, even how something is designed sometimes. It's a different way to look on things. And so I'm totally convinced that in a team with a good mix of male and female, and even better different nations, we are much more innovative.
I mean, there's been a lot of talk on racial biases or on sort of hiring always the same person as you have. So from an HR perspective, how do you encourage sort of, let's say, in the recruitment area, how do you encourage more diversity?
This is a hot topic, I would say, because often it's not conscious. It's unconscious bias that people like to recruit people who are similar as they are. And what we do is we train there, we sensitize the people, especially our managers, to look on that. And especially in recruiting. So we currently have, I can openly say, 17% women, and we want to have 25%. So at least 1/4 of our employees. And of course, we have some measures on that. And so this starts exactly like you said in the recruiting process, where we sensitize on taking people who are different, or take a special look on women. And of course, when it comes to development, because what we see is that women studies, as they do studies in universities, they have great results, and they come into company, they do an excellent job, and then all of a sudden they are lost. And this is something we really want to avoid. And it often comes with either with kids or sometimes even with frustration to say, oh, I see that my male colleagues, they are developed, they are better seen than us. And this is something we really have to avoid, absolutely avoid. And so for me, it's important to trainings on top management level, also to mid-management level. They are able to be aware of unconscious bias and be conscious of what they do, and that every action counts. So that's for me the most important.
Can I ask you, how was it for you personally? I mean, you mentioned the route from college to your first job and then going on, and you're also a mother, so you went through all of these steps. How did it work for your career? Did it work out the way it was planned? Was it planned at all? Or were there any roadblocks for you as a woman or as a mother? How did that sort of line?
Okay. To be honest, it was not planned. So I'm a person, I want to have fun at work. So I want to create something. I want to push things. I want to make something happen. So this is motivates me. And so I started in HR almost 20 years ago in Bosch, and I was 14 years in Bosch company in Germany, in China a couple of years, in Stuttgart, Frankfurt, whatever. And it was everything was great. And of course, step by step, at the beginning in HR was a lot of women, and as soon as you come into a leadership role, it becomes more and more male dominated, especially when you work in business. So not just in a central role in HR, when you work in business. And what I got to see is I hear a lot about women, that there are disadvantages. I often had the different impression that my colleagues were proud to have me in the team and took aware that I'm doing very well. For example, when I had my kids, both kids, so my first boss, who was even an HR boss, he was really upset because my predecessor also was becoming pregnant, and to me it happened the same. But what I did was I said, I come back in 6 months. We really set the date, and I said my husband will take the other 6-month parental leave, and the whole business was so happy that I was coming back, that I really feel highly appreciated, and I was able to work mobile already there almost 10 years ago, and this was not a problem at all. So I did not feel that I do have many disadvantages. It's, of course, it depends manager what kind of picture he or she has in mind. And in my with the second child, I did the same. We shared our parental leave, and it was again like this, that my business manager said, hey, we wait for you. 6 months is okay. We will find a solution. And of course, I kept being linked with the business and came back 6 months later. But I have to admit, there was one critical situation, because with our first baby, we lived in Stuttgart and I was working in Frankfurt. And of course, it meant after 6 months that I go back to Frankfurt, not seeing my baby anymore, have an apartment. And 2 weeks before that, I really said to my husband, I cannot do that. I'm so sad. My baby needs mama, and I need a baby. And my husband said,
both ways.
Both ways, exactly. My husband said, Alexandra, we made the arrangement. I'm fine taking care of the baby, and I encourage you to do so. This was a critical point at that time. And then 2 weeks later, at Monday, 8:30, I was standing in my office in Frankfurt, and I was thinking, wow, is this great? I'm mama, and I'm back to business. I love it. My brain was again challenged. And since then, I love it to have both. And yes, but also you might ask, what give I as a hint is really to make concrete dates also, or agreements, because it's so easy to say, oh, maybe 6 more months, 3 more months, because there always is a reason why not coming back. And so I'm happy that I did so, and I'm happy that my husband encouraged me to do so.
Yeah, that's great. This was exactly my next question is, are there any tips that you could give apart from, I mean, now I think it's fantastic to hear your personal story, but now you're in a position from an HR management perspective. So really the view from the top, does it still, is the advice that you just gave very warmly as a mother? Do you also give that from the top? Will you say for a company that's good to know, sort of when people are coming back, is it dates, or what other elements are good? Because we basically were a group of women who have either just come out of parental leave or are in parental leave. Yes. What other tips would you have for them from of the view from the top?
Yeah, so keep close contact to your team, to your department, to your boss. So that's for me the most important. And I would say maximum parental leave of 1 year. So because a lot of things happen within 1 year. So the shorter, the better, I would say, because then it's much easier that your position is held, and you can easily come back, because you know your position, and they know you. Yeah, I think this is quite good. And the third one is, of course, we have also part-time positions. But the leading positions where you influence is much easier if you work close to full-time. So because there's a lot of communication which is not often always on the agenda. So a lot of informal communication, and if you are there only always for 4 hours a day, you might miss quite a lot. So I really encourage you to keep close in contact, to be clear when you come back, to keep the period even short. Yes, to come back really with full power. And then exactly, if you work on your career, you need the full power also in the future, and to be seen with the full power. And you are also in positions and seen as a talent because you have power, and then show it, bring it in, and find solutions how to get arrangements with the kids, with your partner, and that's the challenge for everyone, for us.
And so talking about power, this comes to my last question. So what we do is in our trainings, we convert these parenting skills, the kind of steep learning curve that you have as a mother or a father taking care of a child, into leadership skills. When you say coming back with full power, can you share maybe one parenting skill that you managed to convert into leadership skill?
I think the most one is to work and find a structure in chaotic situation. You know, the baby is sick in the morning. Of course, there's a business trip. Grandma cannot come because of Corona, and being a risk group, whatever. And then work, take the situation as it is and find solutions. And I think I'm much more relaxed since I'm a mom, because it's at home often a bit of chaotic and we find solutions. And I'm much more relaxed in the office where I feel there it's much easier. You have teams where you can delegate things, you have assistants, whatever. But this is the most thing, seeing the chaos, not panicking really, and find solutions. And that supports a lot being a parent and getting unplanned situations every day.
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing. Thanks a lot. And we will hand over to a discussion. Thank you so much.